Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Remember the bell notification, comment down below. Most importantly, smash that like button, J, to help us move through the YouTube sphere and algorithm and become a member of Jabroni Killers for an industry cheap $2.69 a month to help giving you these daily cryptocurrency, XRP, Bitcoin, and blockchain technology videos you've come to expect and deserve and need. As we look at today's uh, daily video, like we've been talking about the last couple of days, we could be seeing a sort of correction across the sphere after we've had tremendous pumps in all of the coins, and we had a peak price over the last couple of days in XRP of $1.62. And if we look how that compares to some of the most recent pumps, we had the infamous Judge pump that peaked out at about 95 cents. Then if we look at another peak that we had, notable peaks, let me get that off of there. Must be locked, unlocked. Another noticeable peak we had back here at $1.35, and obviously that $1.93 that we had during the infamous COVID hysteria. But you can see we've been in this rising channel. Let's get rid of that because that doesn't need to be there. And let's take this and make it orange, is an easier color to decipher. And then let's make this orange up there. We were in this rising channel, which that is still off. Let's go unlock this real quick. Let's put this in its proper spot, right about around. And then we'll take, yeah, these are all out of whack. Then we'll unlock this and get this back into its proper area, which that looks about good. And then we'll relock these right here. It's very important to lock things so you don't move them, and that's how they get moved. So we're going to lock, and then we're going to lock. We were in this rising channel that we talked about ad nauseum back here, stemming from the great flush, right? Back here. And then we just been from about the end of that big dump right there on the 13th of May of 2022, we were in a nice orderly rising channel, right? All the way up until about April of 2024. So a solid 2 years of an orderly fashion ascent to the upside with predictable support and predictable resistance. And then we'll get rid of that until we had the big judge-induced pump back here. And then we were looking at a sideways and down consolidation. Then we confirmed a breakdown out of the rising channel back here, which would be about, man, there's a lot of garbage down there. Back there at about, what is this? Right in around the April of 2024, right? And then we were just trading sideways from there with up spikes and down spikes of 10 to 30% until the Trump rally. And then we noticed, like we've been talking about, we had a couple of topping out areas with a mid-ground consolidation right here where we had a little mini bull flag that a technical target, if it would have broke straight out of that, would have been $1.94. But we were talking about we could see some sort of correction. And we had a correction the last couple of days or the last 2 days since about early Monday morning before just about the time everybody was getting ready to go to work in the Eastern Standard Daylight Time. We had a nice consolidation and we came almost down to that $1.25. We hit about $1.29, $1.30, and then we had a nice return rally. Then we had another dump yesterday, which had a similar bottom, almost near the same exact bottom right there. And now we were trading up, and we said what we might see here is an up and sideways or a pump to the upside. But if it didn't breach this old high rate here at about $1.53 and tag a new local high, that we could be forming something like this and then come back down to the $1.25. And then you would have 1, 2, 3 straight lower lows, what could signify or confirm a local short-term consolidation or correction to the downside after we had better than from about the regional low right here all the way up. We rallied greater than 200%, 197% from there, but greater than 200% from the low of the current market cycle, recent market cycle. And that's what I'm watching for in the XRP still. is, do we come down to the $1.25, which is this old peak right here, which is a critical area. If you breach an old peak, that would signify some further down action, as we could slip that this time, come down, then come up and get rejected by the $1.23, and maybe come back down to a major critical level of 95 cents, which would be a healthy correction still, like we've been talking about, the 92 to 95 cents. And we'll see if we zoom back left in the chart, JE, why this is a critical area in the 4-hour time frame, or why it's a critical area. That's the uptrend. That was the old rising channel, right? That's why I zoomed out at the beginning. But that was the old critical upper resistance on the rising channel for better than 2 years. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 fake out, 5, almost 6, but 5 distinct major upper resistances on that. So if you fast forward to the future, after you have a big breakout and blow off top to the upside, or regional blow off top, you would like to see, to stay and maintain the bullish sentiment and the bullish action. If you come down and tap that 92 cents, that's fine. That's still a bullish correction. But if you slip below it, that is signifying that there could be some bearish, more bearish action, and maybe you're flipping bearish, because you would not only break a key level of the old blow off high, the recent blow off high, but you would slip that, and then you would slip a 2-year long-term major resistance level. And if you can't hold it as support on the way back down, if you do come back down, I'm not saying you will, but if, make that most importantly, and understand that if you come back and you can't hold that, that might signify a shorter term or a medium term reversal in the market. And with a jagged up and down fast, it could be having some more consolidation or contraction to the downside. But that's still to be determined, and we're going to watch that over the holiday weekend, right? The same thing with some XLM here. You can see we have a couple of areas. The 200-day moving average, you can see it's starting to level out now today as the price action has calmed down. And then we have a few areas of major support. The recent brief consolidation from about Saturday the 16th all the way up to November the 22nd, after its first run up and blow off, you would want to stay above that uptrend. If not, it might be signifying that you're coming all the way back down here to this 90 or this 19.5 to 20 cent level, which would be a big correction, but still would be a bullish correction, because that's a major support level. Just like XRP has that uptrend in the 2-year channel, this is a major support level at 19 cents, because if you look back in the chart, we had the blow off top from the Judge pump. We hit that major resistance zone and got rejected. But then if you look back farther, we had major support, and then it turned to resistance back here during the early springtime of 2022. And then look at all these support levels. You had 2 support levels in August and September of 21. Then you had more support in February of 22. But if you go back even farther, it was a major resistance zone leading into the COVID hysteria pump. You had your first pump got rejected at that 19 cents. Your second pump got rejected, and then finally blew by it and then came back down in a brief window and held it as support. If we take that off, you can see those 3 areas: 1, 2, blow off, and then support. And it flipped it as support from resistance. So that's a major traded level and a major support level over a 4-year period. And that's why that would be a major area that you don't want to break on any kind of big retreat to the downside in XLM. And you can see we're currently at our first area of major support, the mid ground of our blow off top right here. And we've held it as support nicely. But if you do break that, you're coming down to that 39 cents very quickly. And from the breakout line to the 39 cents, that's about a 10.5 to 11% correction. But something else you could see is either you come down to the 200-day moving average, then you could have a nice trade back to the upside and fill something like that right there, where you had your first big run down. You could fill that and have a sort of a gap fill, so to say, right there. And that's something that we would be paying attention to, because on a swing trade, that could be a swing trade that people use. Oh, let's do this. I always forget. Do not disturb. Excuse me. That could be a swing trade from down here on a 39% major support all the way up here to a fill. And that could be a 30% swing in the matter of only a day or two. But that's something that I'm going to be watching out for. If you breach the current level that you're at right now, which is about 43.5 cents, you would quickly come down to 39. And then the 32 cents would be a major area that you don't want to lose, or else this could be looking like a choppy, sideways, sort of Bart Simpson flush back down, where it's like a big mountain and you had a big run up the mountain and then you have a big fall down to the mountain back to the mean of where the price usually is. And if you look at the daily time frame, you can see those moving averages are slithering their way up. And just so happenly and conveniently, look where that 50-day is in the daily. It's getting close to that 19 cents. And if we extrapolate and use our mind out about a week to 10 days from now, you're going to have that 200-day moving average sitting right at that 19 cents, right? And that would be a major area to watch out for on any kind of big correction. We're not forecasting that in the next few days, but it's something that we're paying attention to and something that we're watching in the XLM price along with the Bitcoin price. And if we look at the Bitcoin price, there was some kind of interesting news here that I seen. Long-term Bitcoin holders sold over 728,000 Bitcoins the past 30 days as major profit taking was happening. Long-term Bitcoin holders have sold over 728,000 Bitcoin in the last 30 days, according to data from CryptoQuant. That is nearly 67 billion worth of crypto at the current price, according to the Block's Bitcoin price page. This marks the highest sell-off since April, the firm wrote in X post. It is also a reversal of the trend of large buyers vacuuming up Bitcoin in October, which saw positive inflows of nearly 250,000. The steep sell-off comes amid a crypto-wide market rally following the nomination of President Trump, who embraced the blockchain industry while campaigning Bitcoin in particular shot up and set a new all-time high, just a few dollars short of 100,000. Bitcoin dominance, the measure of the total crypto market cap, is currently around 51%, down from about 60%, according to TradingView. And that's something that we've been paying attention to here on this channel, is the Bitcoin dominance. The Block is an independent media outlet that delivers news, research, and data. As of November the 2023, Foresight Ventures is a majority investor in the Block. Foresight Ventures invest in other cryptocurrency companies. But that's something that's interesting, that long-term holders of Bitcoin were seeking profit at a mass capacity there. And you can see now we've had, after a phenomenal, let's do a quick count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 straight red candles. We're now having a steep decline in volume and a major uptick in sell volume with those long-term holders selling. And now you're starting to see an acceleration to the downside. And we may be coming all the way back down here to a level we've been talking about for several days now. The first overall target on the downside correction, healthy correction, but a correction nonetheless, would be 89,000. And then a major correction would bring you back near the old all-time highs, and a 25% peak to trough correction of about $74,375. And that's something that we're going to continue to watch. And the Bitcoin dominance, you can see, is also having a big decline, as we had a lot of long-term holders selling for profit after a phenomenal run, which you can't argue and can't blame people for taking profit, especially if they've been holding Bitcoin since the 8,000, 5,000, 10, or 20,000 level, or even cheaper, that they're taking some profit because they would undoubtedly still own a substantial Satoshi sack and Bitcoin sack. So you would have to take some profit. It's only logical and reasonable to do that. When you hold a gigantic stack for many, many years, you take opportunities to buy top or to sell some tops for profit, knowing you still have a big stack in your collection, and then you take profit and do other things with that money. Like, subscribe, and share to my lovely, beautiful, glowing audience. Peace and love.